right, welcome to yet another episode of Sitecore Tech Talks. Today we have Akshay Barve with us. Akshay has more than 9 years of experience in industry. Started off as a .NET developer, and from last 6 or 7 years he's on Sitecore.
Yes.
7 years, right?
Yes.
All right. And one of the recent achievements, he has just got a Sitecore XM Cloud solution live on production. And so here today, we want to know a little bit about the personalization which is supported by XM Cloud. So let's hear out from him. Akshay, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Arun, for having me on this show. It is always great to talk technology with you, and I have seen couple of episodes of this Tech Talks. It looks very interesting, and yeah, thank you for having me on this show. Let's get started.
Absolutely. All right. So first and foremost, let's start with what is personalization and why is it important?
Yes, so personalization is a way, or you can say it as it is a mechanism through which you will be ensuring that tailored content is getting delivered to your website visitors according to their behavior or according to their characteristics, according to their views and visit. I believe it is very crucial and important because it ensures that right content is getting delivered to right audience, and it is very important because it plays a major role in the overall user experience and the user journey that we have. So personalization can be done by hiding a content, like hiding a component, or hiding a content in a component, or replacing a component altogether.
Well, interestingly, whenever I have heard of Sitecore XM Cloud, it the discussion has always been around content. So, does Sitecore XM Cloud support personalization as well?
Yes. So when Sitecore XM Cloud was released, this was the most, like, it was the most important question for all the marketing team and the development team also, that what would happen to our personalization strategies. So the main question was, would they need to buy CDP and Sitecore personalize, or there would be some kind of mechanism that will be provided by XM Cloud,
Correct.
through which these personalized strategies will still work? And the answer is yes, there is a way through which in XM Cloud itself you will get the personalization. Like, it is a limited set of conditions that will be provided, but still you will get an out of box personalization through which you can achieve the old personalization strategies.
Good. All right. So in that case, you know what? Let's compare the personalization which is generally available with Sitecore XP and Sitecore XM Cloud.
Yes. So I would say, and as far as I know, Sitecore XM Cloud would allow you to do the personalization on your website visitors according to the page views that they have. If you have already used personalization in XP, where you were able to do where you were able to apply the rules on the components that were on the pages.
Yes.
But in XM Cloud, the difference, like the major difference, is you need to apply the rules on the page variants. So basically what you will be doing is, either you would be personalizing a single component, or all of the components on a page itself. So that is a major difference that we have currently. For XM Cloud, we do not have the flexibility to apply personalization on the component level itself, or on the partial design also.
Okay. So if I read that, or if I kind of put it correctly or in my terms, XP, you can go at a component level and do the changes and apply personalization, versus with XM Cloud, you need something like kind of variants of a page to be created, and that is where you can apply personalization.
Correct. So that is how it goes.
Are there any prerequisites for getting Sitecore XM cloud personalization setup?
Yes. So the major prerequisite that we have to do, or that we have to ensure that we have done, is creating a POS, that is point of sale. So point of sale is also known as site identifier in XM Cloud.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to create it in the settings tab in XM Cloud, and it is a necessary step that has to be done and ensured. Without point of sale, the out of box personalization capabilities won't be available. So I know what you are thinking, like you
Yeah,
are thinking that how site identifier is connected with XM Cloud
precisely.
personalization.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let me explain that. What happens is, basically, by creating a site identifier, you are enabling XM Cloud to keep a track and analyze the different behavior and the different pattern how your website visitor is getting engaged with the pages on your site. So according to the data that they have, they will be able to apply the personalization which is available out of box in XM Cloud, and that is why the POS step is very necessary step.
Alright. So, what if I try uh, doing personalization without having a site identifier in place?
Yes, so if you open the pages in XM Cloud, you will be able to see the option of personalize, but when you click on it, it will give you a message that no site identifier has been found and you have to create one. It is not like you have to connect to any Sitecore XM Cloud support team to create this specific site identifier. It is you only who have to just, there are steps mentioned,
Right.
and those steps needs to be followed. It is just like allowing the XM Cloud to collect the data for your website.
All right. So, which means it's definitely a prerequisite. It's a mandatory step without which we cannot proceed
Yes.
for applying personalization.
Yes.
All right. So then, when I am applying personalization onto a website which is created or built upon the XM Cloud environment, what all ways that I get, or how can I categorize the different things?
Yes.
Using.
So, before going into the categories, I would just like to mention that there is one more step that you need to ensure, that before applying this out of box condition, the step is you need to create page variants, right? So
Okay.
you
Yeah.
have to, if you want to personalize a specific page, you go into XM Cloud, you click on personalize. If you have created the site identifier, it allows you to create the page variant.
Variants.
Now, as soon as you create the page variant, you will have all the components like that were already existing on that page,
Right.
and then you can customize one or more components or all of the components in that page variant.
In the variant.
Yes, and that is how the personalization would get applied. Now, once you are done with creating the page variant, you have to create audience for it. What is audience, right? What is audience? So audience is nothing but a group of conditions that you want to target. So if you want to target, like when a visit comes from a specific country, you have to do this. So your audience for that particular variant is country. So according to that, you need to create a different audience in the audience builder, and then the question that you had asked about
Right.
what different categories
Categories.
would be there comes into
All right. So
picture.
technically we have site identifier in place. Second step is page variants, and then we basically those
Audience builder.
audience builder is what you are saying, or
Yes.
filter which you are saying,
Yes.
is where the conditions come into picture.
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
So in that conditions, what all are the categories
Yeah.
that are available?
So XM Cloud by default provides number of categories. Like the first one is time based, the second one is geolocation, third is device, then you also have page views, and then you have user interaction. So
Right.
these are the 5 major categories where all of the conditions or the group of conditions is getting divided.
All right. Well, let's look at each one of them using an example. Let's start with geolocation for that matter.
Sure. So suppose that in geolocation, basically there are two conditions that you can apply. One is a region. So I believe there are 5 to 6 predefined regions that you can select, and the another one is country.
Okay.
So if you want, like if a visit comes from United States, or if a visit comes from India, then do this on my homepage banner. This is what the example is like, and you can obviously group it. It's not like you can only put a single condition. The best part of this is all the categories that we have just seen
Right.
can be grouped together, and then you can create an audience of it.
So kind of a complex condition can be created to have an audience.
Yes.
All right. So, well, I think this is a very usual scenario. You know what? We have a site, but then we have, regionally we want to personalize components. So very much possible that we want to use the geolocation factor of it. Um, I think you mentioned time-based.
Yes.
Can we look at the time-based again from an example standpoint?
Yeah, so time base is my favorite, because what it does, it allows us to add a condition on a particular day of a month. Then you can have a particular month of the year, and then you can have a day of week. So for example, it is 25th of December, that is Christmas.
Yeah.
So if you want that in United States, first I will select the country, then I will add a time based condition. And if you want that on 25th of December in United States, this offer is to be applied, and the same thing is getting applied with a different offer in different country. So you can select different countries, and you can group these conditions, and you can show it. Another example would be like for the online shopping, like they know that on 1st or 2nd or 1 to 5th our salary gets credited, right? So they can create a condition like, if the date is between 1 to 5th of a month, then this particular banner will be shown on the website. Nice. Where they will try to attract us, because their salary is getting created and you will spend. So that is how you can create an example of it.
Interesting. You know what? This also takes me to think about one more example. Like we release one video per Friday, one podcast per Friday.
Yes.
So in that case, what we can do is we can utilize Sitecore XM Cloud and have time-based.
Yes, that makes complete sense. That makes complete sense. We can do that.
Just trying to. Yeah, well, time-based is also good. Okay, what next? What others?
One point I would like to say that whatever that we have discussed, we don't have to pay any price of it. So the best part is it comes out of box with XM Cloud. So if you're hosting a website on XM Cloud, this is something that will come out of box. The analyzed thing, the personalized thing, everything would become out of box. So there is no extra cost that you have to pay. Of course, like if you want some complex conditions in it, then of course the option of Sitecore personalized CDP is always
on the table,
open. But as I can see that Sitecore XM Cloud has ensured that at least a few of the out of box, not at least, there are complex things also, but out of box conditions are available for the marketers and the development team to get started with the personalization strategies.
Absolutely, and that is the beauty of any SaaS based product like it. When Sitecore moved on to XM Cloud, we are seeing the number of releases that Sitecore is making, with all the things coming up on a regular basis. So I believe even probably with these conditions as well, they might add another category or condition. Not sure.
Yes, I believe so. Like with the adoption of XM Cloud on different sites, like adoption of it will ensure that more and more features gets added. One more point that I want to say is we discussed one category where it was page views, right? Page views. Page views is a very I mean, it is. I feel that it is the most complex strategy that we have. Why? Because it allows us to manage the. So suppose a website visitor has visited X page in X number of days, in X number of times. So these are the 3 conditions that gets clubbed in one condition, and then you can apply personalization on that. Of course, by default, Sitecore XM Cloud is only allowing you to analyze the data of past 30 days. But as I said, with the adoption of technology, it
Yeah,
will
yeah.
definitely grow. Sitecore will think of it, and the period of days would increase. So if
Absolutely.
you relate it with Sitecore analytics, you have a longer time frame where the collection of data is
Totally.
available. But for now in XM Cloud, it is of 30 days.
Correct, correct. All right. Well, we looked at geolocation, we looked at time based, we looked at page views. What else?
Yeah, so there is device also. So device is again very interesting. What options are available are, you can select specific device, like you can show different things in mobile, in different things in tablet, different things in desktop. Along with devices, you also have the operating system. So suppose,
Pretty important.
yeah, pretty important. So suppose that there is a link that is only to be opened in uh, Windows, then you can select the operating system and ensure that if the operating system is window from which the visit has come, that link will only be visible in that particular visit only. And
Yeah.
similarly, you can apply different conditions for the different operating system.
Again, a very realistic scenario.
Yep.
Akshay said, for example, like, you know what, I'm having a website and I'm also having apps. So then, you know, an iOS app should only have the App Store link versus
Perfect.
an
Perfect.
Android app can only have a Play Store link versus Microsoft app can only Microsoft Store link.
Yep.
So
That's what it
pretty,
is.
yeah, pretty realistic scenario where it could be utilized.
Yes.
Well, is there any way in which, you know what, we might have campaigns or we might have, you know, mediums like social media or other ways where the users are coming in from there and we want to personalize our content for them?
Oh yes, so that is the user interaction category.
Right.
So in user interaction category, it is divided into three sub categories. The first one is the referrer URL. So referrer URL means that if you want to ensure that if your website visitor is coming from X site, then you have to show this kind of content to them. That can be achieved with the referrer URL. Then comes the UTM type. The UTM type is supported with all of the 4 UTM types, that is source, campaign, medium, content. And along with that, you can ensure that if a job is getting posted through LinkedIn, the UTM source is LinkedIn, and then it will come to your site, and thus that personalized content will be appearing.
Yeah.
And the last one is the user type, that is divided in whether it is a new user or it is a recurring user. But again, as I said, 30 days is the period where we get that particular session,
Yeah.
and then after it starts again.
Right, right. Well, this is nice to know. Covers a lot of realistic scenarios. Like if I really look at all these categories and what you currently explained, I think it covers more than 50 or 60% of scenarios.
Agreed.
Of course, there are situations where, you know, we want to make sure that we are getting a better revenue or getting kind of more targeted audience for our campaigns or stuff where we can of course go and buy CDP and personalize. But overall, I think XM Cloud does a pretty decent job of getting usual personalization out of the box for the users.
Agreed.
Well, you mentioned regarding the page variants.
Yes.
So, how many page variants can I create? Like, is there any restriction to that?
Yes, so that is a good question. Like by default in Sitecore XM Cloud Personalize, you can create 8 page variants per page, and in that page variants you can create 5 conditions. So each page variant will be having 5 conditions, and according to that the variants would be behaving.
So each page variant, so 8 variants and 5 conditions, and still we got like 40 conditions per page that you can do. And I believe you also mentioned regarding complex conditions, like one into the other, like inheriting something.
Yes.
So can you give an example of that?
So basically what happens is the conditions are are having an and or operator with them, right? So it's not like if you want to ensure that both of the conditions satisfied, then you can just keep an or between them, and you can also create a group of conditions. So a group of conditions evaluates between them, and then it evaluates to the upper condition that it has. So the order in which the conditions are executed is first the group conditions get executed, then all the and conditions get executed, and then the or conditions get executed. And if the website visitor is matching to any of it, that particular content will be shown. Again, if you are visiting a page and then you are visiting a different page on the same website, that will so that website visitor will again be recalculated, re-evaluated, and if he is matching another audience type, then that particular content will be shown and the old content will just disappear. So that's how the perception works. But
yeah, so in these conditions, like for example, I am having a condition for geolocation first, then for time based, and then for, let's say, user interaction, like one into the other and condition. All right.
yes,
So the geolocation condition will fire. After that, the day wise or time based condition will fire, and after that the third condition, which is related to any user interaction, will fire.
you got it right. Yes, that's how
So
it
it's a
works.
like a top down approach in the conditions that is available.
But top down approach, but in order of your operator also,
Operators
like and
also.
or and the group condition.
Right. So group condition is first, then
First,
comes
the preference will be first because it is evaluated between a group, then comes the and operator, and then comes the or operator.
But then if I have 5 conditions and one of them is group condition, which is the third condition, still it will be evaluated first.
No, so group conditions are not considered as a separate condition. It is counted in those 5 conditions only.
All right. Well, and do we have any way in which we can customize or add more rules to this personalization?
Right now it is not available, but as I said that for complex condition you have to go with Sitecore personalize, and then the whole world opens for you, right? Then it is like you can create your own custom conditions, and obviously this out of box condition would still be available.
Right. Well, that was a good insight into Sitecore XM Cloud's personalization features. So thank you, Akshay, for your time, and thank you for all the knowledge that you shared with us.
Thank you.
Also, I would like to thank Alok Kadu Deshmukh and Harsh Mithapara for all their efforts in making sure that this episode was a reality. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you guys.